I sent my nephew to the Botanical Conservatory in Edmonton. He's a soccer player, and he was traveling to that city, and I sent him there, and he sent me all these plant pictures, and so you would have been proud.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, man. And I just absolutely still love it to this day. I mean, over the weekend, I was teaching a class on how to grow, Venus flytraps and carnivorous plants and stuff at a local garden. And we took that online, but it's nice. And I do miss that part where I had a room, at least 1,000 different species of plant, orchids, and all different kind of other things, bug eating plants and beautiful tropical flowers. And I just go in there every day. In the last 5 minutes of work, I'd call it my moment of zen, and I would sit in that room, and I just, no matter what happened that day, bad or even good or whatever, just like, you can do no wrong if you can, make this happen. And I'll forever remember that, but I will miss it dearly. And yeah, you just can't always have a job like that. I've liked plenty of the ones that I've had since then, but man, and I'm sure you could probably say the same from previous phases of your life. Just some things that if you could get like a little shred of them back for a second, that feeling or whatever, you would take it. Anywho.
Yes. Yeah. I remember an H.G. Wells short story about orchids attacking a man in his greenhouse. I remember that from grade 7, 40 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They used to, well, back in the days of, wooden ships and everything, the Victorians would also come up with all these fanciful stories about plants that could do horrible things to people, and things that would, if you got too close, they, envelop you and strangle you and all these crazy things. And before we'd really explored the world and could take pictures of things to prove them right or wrong. But it's and even the story of orchid, how people found out about the first orchids gourd?
No, I don't.
So when people went to South America, Southeast Asia, all the places that they grow naturally, and they were sending the plants that they were interested in, your tea, rubber, coffee, those types of things, the packing material, the garbage that they would put into the little crates to put the real things in, were the things that they were ripping off the trees, the mosses and the orchids with them. And all of a sudden, some dude in England decides to plant those. And this batch of green garbage blooms, and it makes the first orchid flower that was ever seen in Europe. And people just go nuts over this. They're absolutely enthralled and captivated, and they go crazy. But up till then, they were considered just nothing. Wasn't even known that they existed or anything.
Wow.
So one man's junk, right?
Yeah. Wow. Oh, just let me get
special delivery.
Let me get that. Okay. Well, that will look good on the stream. Okay, what am I going to do here? Yeah, I'm not happy with progress here. There we go. Now, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go restart turn. Okay, there we go. So
that might not solve all the issues for you, man.
I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to make sure you don't get up there. And here, I'm just going to go just conservative. Let's be conservative. Yeah, I don't play Charon much at all.
It's one of those that I will not give it out if it's a competitive situation, because it is just so powerful. Terpsichore can hold up to him, and it's kind of tough, but it has to do with kind of positioning on opposite sides so that he can't get a good throw.
Okay, but that doesn't look like I'm in that position now. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, for me, I mean, workers are flying here. I'm happy to move you anywhere you'd like to be.
Oh my goodness.
I think you'd like to go to B1 right now. Actually, I think you told me that.
Yeah, that's right.
See,
B1 is,
I'm basically psychic.
yep. Or D1. Either one of those is quite appealing.
I know.
Okay, we'll go like this. And we'll go like this. I will go like that. I will go like that. And my whole thing was I was planning on going high with this kind of effect, but oh yeah, oh that's
Yeah. I'm not even gonna charge for the free flyer miles. I mean, look at me being a nice guy, but also the Greek undertaker.
Yeah, that's really, really an unhappy little experience there. Yeah. So I'm just gonna be cool there. Yeah, well, I can see why Terpsichore might do well with an experienced, good player. I can see that that might be the case. But that's not me. Oh, that's painful.
Well, I've been very surprised by some of the people that I've seen play that against me, and to the point I lost it both ways. Actually, I lost it with Charon and I lost it with Terpsichore, and I was like, wow, I didn't think anything really held up to Charon that well.
Okay, so what do I do now? That's just ugly, but it's better than the alternative. Yep.
That would not be good. That is not a good idea.
Yeah, I think I could have dealt with that.
Yeah, and then some. I think you can see you now that those domes are kind of keeping me at bay. You can kind of weasel your way into some good things, maybe.
Yep.
Sometimes Terpsichore beats me so bad I call it twerpsichore. the twerps.
Okay, now do I want to be aggressive over here or do I want to be passive? I want to be passive on this side and I want to be aggressive on this side. That's the play.
Hmm. I feel like this is one of those critical moments.
Yeah.
It really matters what I do.
Like I feel strong strategically now. That could be totally an illusion, but that's my gut feel is that I'm doing okay here.
Yeah, I think I don't know, part of me wants to chase after your little guys, but I think that might not help me too much.
Yeah. So I have to be careful for sure.
Huh, interesting. Not gonna threaten, huh? Hmm. I actually think
Oh, is that a win?
no, it's not. No, it's not. Because you got that other guy over there.
All right. But it's close.
Man, I want to play that so bad it hurts. Yeah.
Too close for comfort. I think I should have threatened. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you were smart to hold back. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. I think this is the right move here. No, that's not the right move. Nope.
Maybe it was a better move than I thought. I mean, for what I did, maybe it was good timing.
Yeah, but it doesn't work because, of course, you can win on C1. So looks like I have to make the threat, which I'm sad about, really quite sad about that.
Yeah, I think sadly that worker is destroyed after that, and it jumps down to the ground, and then I do something.
I think you've got it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm trading wins enough with you. But I'm only playing like, well, I mean, Terpsichore's up there in the probably top 3 to 5 most powerful gods of the game. But yeah, that nice little wall that got created in the C column seems to be pretty decent.
Yeah. So that's it. There's no way for me to reach that.
So yeah, you exploit that she can't stay on a square for more than one turn in a row. It's sometimes a blessing in disguise. Like, for example, a Charybdis pool. If she tries to stand on it, she'll have to leave the next turn unless she's got adjacent workers or something weird. Move one worker in and the second one wins on a level 3, that kind of thing.
So one of the ones I'm enjoying is this Harpies versus Hecate. That's a blast. Why don't we play that? Because I think that's going to be entertaining to watch. And you enjoy playing the Hecate, and that would be better.
Okay, yeah, I probably would hide it better.
Yeah, you can hide it better, and that's more interesting for the audience. But I mean, you're welcome to choose the Harpies and then just
sure.
You can.
I'm not sure how I feel about strength relationships. I'm not sure if I really. I mean, Hecate has got a little bit of the imperfect information strength going for it, but not really sure whether it's granted to win or if they go even or what.
I mean, I haven't played this before this week, and it strikes me that Hecate has got a very interesting ability to move around the board fast, and so it's very hard to figure out where you are compared to normal moves.
Oh, interesting. I kind of felt the opposite way. I felt like it was giving too much away, where 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be in a perimeter space.
I see. I find this more difficult than normal Hecate. I think Hecate. I think if you compare Hecate, normally she would be a weaker power, and Harpies would be on the stronger side. Here, I'm not 100% sure where this goes.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this. So where on earth would that one have been? Yeah. So my thoughts are, is it now you're probably on B1, but am I confident? Zero confidence here. Yeah, okay. So where were you? Oh, you were probably on B1 and then you moved there. Okay. So now you've probably come towards me on to C2, or you've gone to A2. Difficult for me to know, or it's your other worker. So let's see. I'm going to come in here. I want to find out where you are. So if you're there, okay, I can deal with that. Then I want to find out, are you here? Yes, I will do that. I'm going to check out if you're there. So you're not there, which means I think you are definitely there. You're definitely there. Now you've moved here and you've played there. fair enough. I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to go here and play here. So now I think you're on B1 with one of your workers. And so that, I believe, is your other worker doing shenanigans. Mm-hmm.
A lot of shenanigans this game, that's for sure.
Yeah. This is
lucky for me. I'm not the one that has to figure out the shenanigans. It's kind of like a reverse puzzle in a way. Or
oh yeah,
every turn is you kind of a process of elimination. Well, it must be here or there, and kind of line all those possibilities up. And okay, we triangulate.
Okay, I'm going to try that. So I'm guessing. You just played A4, so you can't be on there now, but you can get on there soon. But I'm also guessing you don't want me to go on C2. Oh my goodness, you're there.
Good thing. Hope I can keep up the poker face.
Oh, that's not good. What is delicious about Hecate is, the obvious move, if I could see what was going on, the obvious move is to go to C2 now. But of course, because I'm expecting that, easily B2 could be a reasonable move. I have to cover if I have to cover that, but then that would, it's a delicious power. I don't know if you've fallen in love with Hecate, but this was my favorite power for ages.
No, I think it's great. I really actually quite enjoy other people's perspectives on the powers, and knowing that Hecate and Harpies and some of the other ones that you mentioned so far have been up there for you relative to other people. I think that's fascinating. I think everybody can kind of approach the game in their own way.
Did you go backwards? Would you have gone backwards? Oh, why would you do that? I don't think you will have. But okay, I'm going to do it. But that means that if this person's here still, that means that another person's over there, which means I have to get over there fast. Let's see. Okay. I'm okay. Wow. So that means you're on A4 or you're on B4 with the worker that used to be on B3. Yeah, it would be really fun for you to record your screen and for people every so often to see where you are, or for you to go over this with an extra commentary later.
Yeah, again, this I don't know who to push that to, but the sandbox mode, somebody please answer that call for help, because if we could have a way to diagram out positions and kind of visualize other continuations, I think it would make it so much more fascinating to do these types of videos.
Yeah.
And what if scenarios. And I hope that's probably top of my list of things that I would hope happen for Santorini.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of trouble with this one. And I should mention, one of the worst mistakes that you can make when you are playing Hecate, and I made one of those mistakes this time, is to take your turn until the build phase and build, because it shows that on the other person's screen. So as a frenetic turn restarter, I fall into that trap quite a bit until somebody told me I can see your blocks, and then so I have to clamp down on that part when I'm playing this god.
Right. Yeah, so let me guess that you're on A4, and on this side, I think that you have a high probability of being on B1. I think that's right. So yeah, we can go back and discuss that afterwards if I was right. You can take a screen shot and then you can share your screen afterwards. So that means that you could be right there on B5. That would be consistent. So let's assume you're on B5. I am now going to I think it's time for me to move one step just so that you don't find it comfortable. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, I do want to move up here, right? Really do. I think I could do this. That's an awkward position for you. Okay, let's try that. Because B1 can't move nicely in this direction. So if there's a one on B1, the fact that you moved up to B5 possibly means that you could block. So now I'm guessing you've moved down to B2, or on this side, you could have gone down to B4 to build that. So now I don't know where you are. But what I do feel good about is that I can have this kind of Yep. Okay, so I think I'm going to threaten, because no matter what you've done here, I think you have to go to A1. So then I'll know where this one is. Okay, so I think that you're in A1 right now. And what do I want to do now? So I'm guessing you're on, I don't know where you are here. But what I'm going to do is an unusual move. I think I'm going to trap you in here.
Before you hit confirm,
yeah,
you have got a very strong potential of a double win that I would feel ashamed to let you pass up.
Oh. Right. Because I know you can't be here. So yeah. That's the obvious one.
And that's not kind of sharing anything. That's not information that's already kind of been given by
I know
the
you
places
can't,
where I build. But
I'm trying to be too smart.
It is a game where you can overthink yourself very easily and trip over your first idea onto your second one. But no, I wonder how I would have prevented that. I think that's more where my interest lies, is what should I have done with your build on B3, which was very strong. It was the turn that I built on C3 that I think I was mistaken, but
well,
anyway,
what was good about the C3 build is I didn't know which
direction it came from.
you'd done. So that was good.
It was probably too late to start trying to throw you into confusion, though, I think at that point.
Oh, And I forgot that you could have blocked me if you had stepped down to b2. You could have blocked me on on a3 as well. So where I'm going to guess that you were on b4 and b1 last turn. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Before I blocked that first level 3, I was B1, B4.
Yeah.
And I was up there on B5 for a little bit. And then I realized that my threat, I couldn't make something that you couldn't access from B3. So once you positioned there, I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make, I don't know, I debated a lot of scenarios. I debated a build on A5. And then once there, I wouldn't have been able to really capitalize on it much. But
I think that this is in Harpy's favor probably quite a lot with strong players. But with weaker players, who knows? I don't know which way it would go. I certainly love the deduction there.
yeah.
Fascinating.
Well, have you tried Aphrodite versus Hecate?
No.
Would you like to?
Sure.
That is a fun one. Because I've got to be next to you if I'm already next to you, right? So,
but that you've got to think that Aphrodite's got the advantage there.
Sure, she can institute a trap, but the thing is, one of the 8 spots she's gonna move and then build on. I don't know. I think she's got a dramatically higher chance of finding one of your guys.
Yeah. But I could do that by choice, and now I'm forced to do it.
And I should say to the viewers that I've hidden my Zoom screen behind my browser, and I have no awareness whatsoever of how Gord is positioning his workers. So.
At least that's what is claimed.
So that's a move I normally wouldn't play. I don't like to be at the perimeter so early, but a lot of times when I'm seeking out a Hecate worker, being near the corners can whittle down the options of where you might be.
Yes. Okay.
So for example, here, if you were to put a level 2 block onto that, then I'll have a 50-50 shot of where your person is positioned.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Right.
Really afraid of that C4 block. I think you're up there with me. I'm afraid now. Okay.
So for those of you watching, I am not playing this like if Kevin was seeing where I was right now, some of these moves look totally nuts. So I'm certainly not playing in a way that I would normally be playing.
This is probably going to make or break the game. Oh, yes. Got it. I think that was an important block. No matter where you were, I believe that was a critical move. Okay. I still think you're away from me. I think you've got one little guy that may not be under my influence here. So I'm going to try to bring him in. Okay. Wow. All right. Hmm. I think what you want me to do is move to D4, and you have somebody there that's going to jump me. Because that is a really powerful threat. And even if I did move to D4 and I gave you that level 2 on the next turn, you'd have a threat on C3 potentially, and it would be a little less than nice for me to stop that. Why don't we do that? And that's under the assumption that somebody was on D4. I think I really, really would have loved the Aphrodite trap effect that I would get from pinning you to C3 and forcing your next move to be away and jumping down, and if you were on that square, which I'm assuming you're on D4 and C3. I could be completely wrong. Well, I know you're not here because you just built there. And I'm not going to add any more blocks because I want to see if you are somewhere there where you build next, so that I can be fairly sure and zero in on your position. Okay. Wow, you're not there either, huh? Interesting. Interesting. That was just purely a gamble.
So yeah, I think this is one of the worst powers against Hecate, because I can choose to be close to you on any other power, but here I'm forced to do it. And it's can be unpleasant.
So I think
Yeah.
you are on C1.
Yeah, you've won. You've won.
And I
Yeah. Nothing I can do.
That's interesting because I was thinking you might have somebody up in the corner over there.
Yep. No, I do very unusual moves whenever I'm playing Hecate, and I got messed up capping. You got to know where I was on B2, C2, and then I got into a nasty situation there. So that's what happened.
Huh. So okay, I'm gonna, if it's all right, I'm gonna look at the screen now and kind of. Oh my, okay. So I did kind of trap the other guy up there on D4. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew those 2 level 3s that you had to build to stop me from moving up. That's usually if you can generate enough of a threat towards Hecate and kind of get her influence where she's building. That's kind of what you want to do.
I should never have built on B2. I should have built on D1. I wasn't.
It was troublesome, but it also kind of there's also the mind game of you are setting a plan that's kind of simple to follow. I don't want to call it simple, but it's fairly straightforward. Like you want to gain an advantage by moving to that spot, and at a certain level, it couldn't be more obvious. I almost think, and I'm not like an expert at playing Hecate, that she might be one of those uniform terrain types of gods where there's not enough of an advantage there in a certain position on the board where you're sure she's moved to a spot. She hasn't gained the height. It can kind of come from anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's definitely interesting. I mean, it's kind of amazing.
My grand strategy against Aphrodite was to dome off, not do that, but to actually dome off big chunks of the board so that I was forced to be with you anyway. And then you didn't have a power and I did. So.
Right. And my options for moving and building are a little bit more limited as well. And I'm more likely to put stuff over top of you and lose my turns.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't think I lost a single turn that time. So I think we're, my instinct paid off.
Yeah. Yeah. You were right about the D4 character before. I had D4, C3. So that was unfortunate that you could predict that. Up to that point, I had made very unusual moves, I thought.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind playing Hecate again. I'm enjoying this, and it's nice to have a focus for each for some of these days.
All right. Yeah, good thing you get to pick this time because I not sure what to pair it with at this point.
Okay, so I want to pair it with something that is, not super strong.
In my opinion,
yeah, go.
I have found that the things that Hecate usually does fairly well against are the powers where you have a lot of choices during your turn, like extra moves, extra builds, removing or adding blocks.
Sure.
In particular, one of them, Triton, right? No matter any space that he moves through, even if he doesn't eventually land there, if he's moved through a Hecate worker, he loses his turn. So things like that can, be a double-edged sword, a power that gets to do a lot of things during their turn.
Right. Yeah, that would be fun. So let's try Triton. Sure, let's do that.
I'm almost regretting that I said that.
Okay, so I'm Hecate again. Right.
This is going to be one of the most conservative Triton games that I've ever played. No more running around the screen to do something. Well, again. And I believe my guesstimate would be that when you placed directly around the perimeter, maybe at like a C1, C5, A3, E3 kind of positioning, which is a fairly standard response opening to a Triton.
I would disagree.
Oh, okay.
If I was playing Triton and I had the first move, I would whip around the whole outer board just so I got the position of one of your characters
Okay.
and lose my entire turn. But I think that knowledge of where you are would probably trump other information.
Okay. That's interesting. In my perspective, kind of devil's advocate would be that I feel that building a threat and forcing you to come to me with a 50-50 chance of putting a block in your mind would probably do the same thing with advantage and in a more surefire way. At least that would be kind of how I'd feel about it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Especially since I moved first, I guess Hecate is always going to be the last turn taker, and so that gives you room to do that kind of positioning to try to generate some type of advantage. All right. So 50-50 shot. Now I know, and I haven't lost any of my turns. You're A2 or B2. I would hope that you used your building worker to do that. And the last block you built was B4, so you're not there. And here I've only taken the risk of you being on C5, which is where I will build, since I've already moved through there. And I'm going to guess if you are on A2 or B2, that I might have your building now. And you have a second guy somewhere. So where is that little person? Okay. same kind of idea, only accepting the last block built spot because I know it's clear. And if you build anywhere near B4, I will assume that you're up there, which is still probably not fatal to me at the moment. Okay. This could go wrong for me here. Ah, yeah. Okay. Well, now that is interesting. Hmm. Man, I know the move I'd want to play. Let's just go for it. That's one of them anyway. Ah, nope. All right. You're stubborn, Gord. You're a stubborn man.
Yep.
Well, then the other idea was to do basically that same thing, but circle all the way around the other side of the board. But that was risky business. Okay. See, my quandary is that I don't really know where that block came from. Man, I hope it was from A2.
Whee!
Yeah, he's going swimming. If we can imagine that he, as a merman, is swimming. And I am just too I think it looks bad for me. I'm not gonna lie. I think I've been outclassed here. But I'm afraid I might know where you are. Yep. Hmm. Interesting. So now I'm going to surmise, based on that working, that you were on B3 and you built on C3. And A4 being empty is a very, very good thing for me at this point. And I think that was a ruse. Let's see. Kind of going through the I think that you had to have jumped off that block. I could be colossally wrong here.
Ah. I was just having fun there. That was just too much fun to throw.
Oh man, I scanned through the replay of moves, man. That's
yeah, that was.
Oh man, gambling is so fun. I should never go to Vegas if there's like a Santorini themed slot machine. I'd probably lose it all.
Oh, I knew that you could probably predict that. My big mistake was the turn before. I was in a totally winning position, and I totally messed up the turn before. That's where I really messed up. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Like, of course, I just totally forgot that you could do that.
Yeah, I think if you had moved instead to A4 and built, and I could have
so many options.
I could have domed B3, for example, but I mean, you've got a guy on A2. I'm almost 100% positive of that. So I can't do what I call the Triton wiggle move, where he just goes back to the same space and gets to build. But
yeah, no, that was sad. A sad little end. But
for some of us,
yeah. But what a delicious, like.
Yeah.
I guess I don't. For me, this is relaxing. So I'm not trying to like pull out all of my intellectual juices to figure out, oh, could you figure out that was a ruse or not? I just wanted to do it just to play with you.
Well, you have to sometimes, and I can't. That has worked a couple of times. There was one time I seemed like I was going to a level 2, and I just faked the guy out with Hecate. In one critical turn where I won the game, and then Endbringer and I had one where we played Limus and Hecate, and he just absolutely crushed me at it because he through process of elimination, he could just figure out where he had moved me to on the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think something like Maenads would be really difficult to use.
Apollo would be weird to use, but not fun. No, that actually that might be banned, right?
It's not banned, but I could see that, and Minotaur are two that I can see completely dealing with Hecate in a very bad way, right? I mean, Apollo, if Apollo moves to the space that she's occupying, he's swapping with her, I'm assuming, right? How does that work?
Yeah, that's like I don't think you're informed as Apollo. I think that's the way it works. So yeah, I remember that coming.
So you don't know. So you're not sure if you've swapped, is what you're saying?
You don't know if you've swapped.
That's weird.
Yeah, but I don't think pleasing. I think we can find more interesting.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'd agree. I think this could be an interesting one.
Ooh.
Not knowing, for example, when Hecate is paralyzed.
Do you want to be Hecate or do you want to be Hypnus?
I'll take Hypnus. I mean, I don't, just to kind of shake it up, I kind of enjoy the hunt.
Okay, good.
But I think this may be one where you might really shine, if I'm honest.
It's possible, yeah.
Because I won't be sure when you've taken the spot and when you're frozen. It's like you are figuring me out. So I always love as Hypnus to build blocks with the opponent's first few moves. Okay. So I either assume that you've taken that and are frozen or not. I think it would be a little early to want to do that. And I was right.
That was silly of me. I should have guessed that you would have guessed that. Yes.
I'm glad I guessed that you would have not guessed that I guessed that.
Okay. Yes. Now I need to play this differently. Yes, I certainly need to play this differently. So let me okay.
So I think what I'm waiting for is a block falling next to that one. And I believe what you've done is you have built for your second worker and you have climbed with your first worker onto B2, trying to get them both where they can move together. But the thing is, if I keep generating threats and you build the way that you're doing together, I'm faster than you on one side of the board or the other, and eventually you'll have to jump down. Okay. So you're there, and I'm going to assume that you climbed and are not there. but you might take A4. Wow.
That was a mistake. Yep, that was a silly mistake. That was a silly mistake. So for those of you who are watching, why was it so silly? It's because it means that B2 has to be free now. That's why it was silly. And that was not known going into this.
And furthermore, it means you're really going to be slow because your guy who domed on E3 is on the ground. So at this point, probably both your workers are on the ground. All right. So he still didn't climb. By drying up all these level ones, it really it keeps you on the ground. I'm gambling a little bit with this one. That was a bad gamble. Okay. So if I had to guess, you're gonna probably try to unify your guys like that. Oh, nasty. Okay. Ouch. Oh. All right. That's not good at all. Wow. Oh, I'm getting hammered. That's good. All right. Oh, yeah, I should have seen that one coming. What a mind game. I think my brain cells were so fried that they just couldn't process what a magnificent loss was about to happen.
I made a very bad looking move to E1 that totally you would never think that I would do it, because I was stuck then on the first level with nowhere to go, and it looked like a terrible move, but you would never have thought of it.
You're right, because I felt like I could dome any threat that you put up. Yeah, I thought let's go back.
That was the absolutely critical move, was for me making that bad move to E1 that you never would have thought you're never going to do that. And that just threw you totally off.
I have to say, man, that was great. I can really respect that. You just wouldn't give up this key score. Well, and the other thing was we were jockeying for control of the B3 D3 kind of gateways to the rest of the board, and I think I fought for that a little bit harder than I should have, and ended up losing a lot of turns in the process.
Another good move that I made was to come down from C4. Instead of going back to B5, I came down to B3, which blocked you again.
Yeah, that was memorable.
That one was pleasing.
yeah, and by the time you were able to land that level 2 and B5, I knew I was in some significant trouble, because I normally, like as Hypnus, I keep saying this, but you viciously attack the level 2s on the board. You try not to have many of them, and when they are there, if you can't get them, you do not want your opponent landing on those spots, even if they are paralyzed there for a short set of time. That's one of the two things they need to generate a winning threat against you, is for both workers to be on those level 2s. So you just stamp them out like they're a wildfire, and you're a little woodland creature. But,
one last one, or is that good for today?
Sure. Now I've got time for one.
Okay, let's do one last one.
Yeah, I think you're winning me over with Hecate. With the right person, of course. It's not always necessarily the most, like if you're playing in a competitive setting and it's like,
Yeah. But I'm really in this for fun.
Sure. Hey, same here. No, I really do enjoy that. I think it's the social aspect of games is the best part about them. Amount of friends you make along the way, and cool people you get to meet.
I think I don't know.
I'm going to take Hecate this time.
Okay.
Not really much of a preference for this matchup, but
Okay, so where will I head now? Now, do I really want that? No, I don't. More than that, I want to find out where you are. So I'm going to do this. Potentially you're there. No, because that's where I came from. Oh, great. Great logic skills here on display. Great logic skills. Okay, I'm going to check if you're there. There you are.
You sunk my battleship.
There we go. So that's good to know. Okay, let's assume that you moved up. Right. So I'm going to do this to confirm that you've moved up. And then where do I want to go? I think I want to come this way. Okay, so you did move up, almost certainly. You could have moved to B5, but now you're going there. Okay. So now I think I want to confirm that you are indeed not still on B4. You could still be on there. I think I want to go. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to confirm that looks. No, I think I should go up. Right. You won't let me go there. Okay, so I'm going to guess that you're on B5 right now. And that means I want to try this. Unlikely to work. I'm going to guess that you might be on B3 as well, which is something I want to confirm. So I'm going to actually do that. I think you're probably on B3. Yes. I think you're on B3 and B5 right now. And now I'm wanting to go like this, like that. Now, at some point here, I don't want you to be building. So right now, I think you're on B3 and C5. And at some point here, I do not want you to keep on spreading level ones. That would not make me a happy camper. Yeah, this is getting annoying. Okay, let's release. I want to find out if this guy's still on B3.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Right. Okay, I'm getting tired of this now. This stops pretty soon right about now.
That's not good.
But I don't know that
See
it's
what
not good.
you're see what you're going for there.
Okay, so we do know where one person is about now. And
that was the nastiness that you were going for.
oh yeah.
And I actually well, I think you probably have the instant win in your sights.
Okay. So we are there.
That extra turn, if you want to call it that, probably saved me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. That's not quite so easy to deal with that. No, I have to deal with that because I don't know where you are. But I know you're not on C2. And you could have, that could have all been a bluff. Yeah. Have to be a little bit careful here. Okay. No,
not today, Pan.
Nasty little critter. You
Foiled
nasty
again.
little critter, you. Oh, you.
The goat man will not have his day. Yeah, I think staying in the middle in general, because like what you did, getting me to dome up there on A5 really, just isolates the possibility without you having to bump into the worker. Kind of staying toward the center as Hecate as much as you can, and like I'm kind of experimenting since we have the opportunity with that like oval or open level 1 uniform floor plan that I was talking about in the other one. Um, I think that works.
Oh, this is getting scary for me. Okay. Not liking that. Not liking that. No. I thought you had gone and delivered a nasty bit of nastiness over there. Okay, so now the question is, what do I do with that? And I have to do this. And I'm getting into trouble here. I'm getting into trouble. I'm playing the sure moves, and I think I need to play the sure moves. I think I'm dead, aren't I?
Might be it. Just might have.
Yeah, I think that's it. Okay.
I had one turn too many for nefarious business.
That's not good. I think I'm dead. Well, that's fun.
I like it. I'm seeing your point. I haven't played it enough to really enjoy that, but it's kind of like, I mean, I'm assuming you played hide and seek as a kid, right? We all have. This is hide and seek, the board game.
Yeah. No, I would say for most of the last 10 years, Hecate has been my favorite of all the gods and goddesses.
Well, without prying,
Mm.
do you feel like anything that may be upcoming would have a similar level of enjoyment? Maybe not the exact same mechanism or anything, but a similar level of that like wow
Yes.
factor.
Yes, and a
That's great.
yeah, it's very, very interesting. Some of the upcoming gods are very, very good. Yeah, and now I think they undergo much more scrutiny than the crazy. Like, I don't think there's going to be another Apollo coming out ever.
Okay. Well,
and Kronos, those ones too weak,
Sure.
too strong. That's
Sure.
just not pleasurable, because now that they get hammered in playtesting in a great way. So,
do you feel like there's any limit on your own or others' personal creativity in developing the powers when they're put through that level of scrutiny? I mean, for example, let's just say, do you feel like any of the powers, had you had that level of scrutiny going into it, that are not Apollo, not Poseidon, not super strong or super weak, do you feel like any of those would have made it through under the current level that playtesting puts new powers into, if that makes sense?
Kronos would be 4 instead of 5. Apollo would have had one of our 2 solutions to it. Either Apollo can only be used whenever you're stepping up, or Apollo can, or maybe stepping up or stepping down, or Apollo can only be used whenever you're on the level playing field and not moving up or down. So I think that those for sure would have been caught if we were to go forward today with the level of scrutiny that the gods are getting now.
Well, that's great to hear, and so you feel like it's a benefit overall, makes sort of better, more interesting powers, and going through that gauntlet of a process.
Yes, I think the gods on average now coming out are better, maybe a little bit more complex, but on average they are better gods. Yeah. Cool. You need to, going forward, you need to give up something. Complexity is the obvious thing that you have to add going forward, because all of the easy gods have come out. That being said, I never thought of Pegasus. I never thought Pegasus would be balanced. I never thought that it would be fun to play. If it crossed my mind, I dismissed it immediately. Asteria, I think these are 2 of the gems that are currently in the game that did not come from me, and didn't get into the base game. I think Asteria, fantastic. So I'm big fans of other people getting involved now in the creative process, and that's
sure.
Just
some of the others. Hydra is just phenomenal, and that was one. I mean, not to say that the ones that you personally did were not, but I agree that I think the game is richer for sort of more minds thinking about it and adding to it. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff there that the world would have really missed had it not been for those inventive folks like yourself, kind of just, what if we could do this? So anywho.
I am most excited, not about new gods, but new ways of playing. I love, I've never been totally into Santorini as a pure strategy game only, as my love of Hecate suggests. And certainly playing with 6 hidden gods, and you playing with 6 hidden gods, and I choose 3 or 4. And then from that subset, I play them one after a time on my turns. And after I'm out of my cards, I pick up all 6 again, choose another 3 or 4 and play them. And for both of us to be doing that is a fantastically joyous version of Santorini for experienced players only. It's so fun.
I have been really, I couldn't be salivating anymore. I mean, that's kind of a game changer in the combining 2 powers in 1 player and various things like that.
If you haven't played 2 gods with 1 player, like that's that's a no-brainer. Like it's a no-brainer. It's so much fun. Like Aphrodite plus Zeus. How does that compare to like just to mix them up?
One of them, after we spoke about that earlier, one of them I thought would be a little bit too much, would be like a Bia, ordinarily weak, but what if you paired her with Charon and you throw the guy 2 spaces in front of yourself and then move into, I mean, that's
or
that's
Artemis Bia.
Oh. Yeah, no joke. There's a killer on the loose.
Then you're getting nasty.
Oh,
Then you're
wow.
getting nasty.
Yeah, I mean, power to you and to Roxley and all the other folks kind of making that happen and having such a fun time with it. I hope everybody has as fun a time with the development of their games as I feel like you guys do.
I have to say, Roxley, they produce few games exceedingly well. Like have you seen the latest Kickstarter?
I saw that. Was it Badlands or something like that? I looked at
Radlands.
Radlands.
Yeah, Radlands. That's a game that I mean maybe has a bit. I don't know. It's not quite my game for the amount of randomness. But the latest game that came out like yesterday. Let's just. I just want to find that.
Sure. No, I mean Roxley should get some major props and attention out of this kind of stuff.
Let's advertise for Roxley right now, because this is Stroganoff. That's not Roxley. So it's what is the game called? Metropolis, I think. Is this right? Nope, that's not it. Kickstarter Roxley. Let's try again. Nope, it's not. Skyrise. This is it. So yeah, it's gone from, this is in 2 days, they're at 200,000. I have played this game. I've done minor playtesting for years on this game, and it's for years. Like they were working on this like 2 years ago, pre-COVID, 3 years ago. They were working on this.
No joke.
This game was underrated, and they picked it out of. They realized this game is a gem. It only had a BGA board game geek rating that was, in the low 7s. But
7 is actually pretty good.
Yeah, but I can say this game deserves to be in the high 7s or low 8s, and it's an easy game. Like to have an easy game in the high 7s is fantastic.
I tend to be less successful with something overweight 3 out of 5 on board game geek. But what type of game would you say this is? I mean, I can't quite see everything on the screen, but I mean, go ahead and plug it for Roxley, man.
Yeah. So
what sort of mechanisms?
Yeah. So the mechanisms is that you have your skyscrapers, and they have numbers on them, and you whenever you're playing sequentially. So if we're playing with 4 people around the table, I have to make sure that I play a higher number, or I can pass. I can play a higher number of the skyscrapers in front of me, a higher number than you've played, and it has to be neighboring you on the board. And so you're wandering around this board, placing higher and higher and higher and higher ones, and eventually you end up maybe in a cul-de-sac. And then the person who plays that one, they get to keep that building. Everyone else removes their buildings. And so you keep on building up slowly this metropolis, and you have area control in the best possible area control game I've ever played, and that includes El Grande. I would say this beats El Grande. It's not like El Grande. It's quite different. but yeah, highest accolades to this game.
Sweet.
You know, a game that if you like, the one that we've just started, Medina.
Medina. Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I was going to just flat out ask you.
That's the one that it's most like. And Medina's also, I think, underrated on board
Yeah,
game.
no, I agree. And if I could put in a personal plug for it, although I've had my frustrations with trying to get to a high level at it, Medina, the second edition, is another one of my personal favorite games, and it is just it's another skill based, perfect information. Well, not perfect information, but it's just fantastic if you get a chance to check that one out. To anybody who's watching this,
I agree.
Yeah,
I'll say that Skyrise, those two games, if you like one, you're going to like the other. And I'm going to say that Skyrise is a little bit more elegant. That's what I'm going to say. It's got fewer rules in the mechanisms, and yet it's very, very streamlined. That's nothing to detract from Medina, but this one's a little bit more elegant.
Well, I feel like a lot of us kind of search out similar territory once we really identify with a game or kind of mechanism that we prefer as board gamers. So yeah, it's definitely, I think you get attracted to the same type of game, and it's just a slightly, I mean, you're just seeking that experience again in a novel way. You know, that you'll never get to relive your first moments of learning a game until a similar one comes out, and then you get that mad rush again, if that makes any sense. So I think we're all kind of constantly on the hunt for stuff like this. So it's good to bring Skyrise to attention.
Yeah. That was a pleasure again, Kevin, and I hope we meet tomorrow.
Looking very likely. I might get till next Monday.
Okay.
Might get another week. I don't know. So
this is great.
Yeah, no, I keep crossing my fingers every time I get up in the morning that I don't have an email. So yeah, till next time, buddy. It was fun for me too. I enjoyed this. It's up there. I didn't think it'd come from playing Hecate, but yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I will see you tomorrow.
Take care, Kevin.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.